Hey guys, Michelle here. Just wanted to make a quick video about this topic that has been the topic for the past couple of weeks, actually, at the office here by Mentice Group. I just want to touch base on a couple of things, because when it comes to when you look at performance for salespeople and entrepreneurs, we tend to talk about different models, different this, different that, all these kind of things. But when it all boils down to what is the big difference between who's who on the market, and I'm not talking about these super success people, like for an example, I'm not talking Richard Branson style and so. Of course, it's a no-brainer that this guy has a mindset like a very few. And you're not shocked to hear that. So I'm not even going to go into that. I'm talking about you and me, guys. People that who grew up in middle class families without any silver spoons and so on. But we grow up with a dream. We grow up with something in ourselves that we want something different in life. We want to live life. And these people has a tendency to be the ones that are the ones, for an example, in sales, that always stands out, that reaches results like nobody of the rest in the group and so on. And it's the same with entrepreneurs. You have startups and you have entrepreneurs, and startups or entrepreneurs in general, when they start a business, it's usually a dream. It's somebody's hopes and dreams that is about to launch itself into reality. And there is some statistics out there that we need to address them, and we need to look at what is the real problem here. For an example, it's very interesting. It's the same 87% of all startups fails within the first 2 years. All right, 87%. That is a crazy number. But guess what? It's the same 87% of salespeople that don't reach sorry guys, it's live and their quota. They don't reach it. They don't reach their budgets. And so we have to start to be realistic and think about this, that maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something going on that we don't want to discuss, that we don't want to address. And I mean, I read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of books. I read a lot of books as well, but I listen to approximately 1 to 3 new books every month. And it's everything from sales to personal development, to leadership, to marketing, and this and that and so on, whatever I can find. And when you look into it, everything, no matter what formula you might get out there, it all boils down to one thing. It's your mindset that will set the difference between good and great, between mediocre and being awesome, basically. And I've been training hundreds of salespeople, probably thousands, and I've coached well over 500 businesses and all over the world. And what I can see is the same thing. No matter if you're in Sweden, you're in Seychelles, if you're in New York, it doesn't matter. The same thing. It boils down to the same thing. Most of the people don't have the right mindset to go out there in a performance-based occupation, and it's because it's the same thing. If you're in sales, it's about performance. If you're an entrepreneur, it's about performance, and of course, if you're an entrepreneur, it's thousands of other things as well that you need to attend. But if you look at what will carry you along the way, if you look at what will give you the energy, the power, to last out there on the market, it is your mindset that will be the key ingredient for you to go from good to great. Now, I always say, first of all, you need to see yourself being the result that you wish to accomplish long before you will become the result that you want to accomplish. And this is something that you probably read it somewhere also along the way and so on. But if you're going to start to change your results, you really don't need more books. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need all this kind of stuff. You have to do a couple of things. First, you have to look at who's the people around you. That's very important, of course. But then you have to start to work on your mindset. And I always say work because it takes work to work on your mindset. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that you can attend a seminar and boom, I'm a new person. That's not the way it works. That's why so many people fail, despite being perhaps reading books and so on, because you need to put in the work as well. And it can be quite boring. It can be quite how to say boring, and it can feel like it doesn't happen. It's not happening anything, and you just feel like, well, I'm still the same person. I still have the same results. Well, process and result is not the same thing. First of all, process and result is not the same thing, and we need to separate these two, and we need to understand that they have a correlation as well. If you're going to have a process that creates, it's the process that creates results. So if you don't have the results you want, you have to look at the process. And usually when I look into sales and business, salespeople and entrepreneurs and their businesses and so on, I always look at the person, because it's so easy to come up with a perfect business plan, and I have a budget, and I have this and I have that. But when the first brick comes, because it will come, as soon as you step out of the door and you enter the realm of business, a big fat brick will get thrown in your face. Believe me. and this is where 87% fails, because they can't handle it, because they are weak inside here and inside here. But this is something that you can train. This is something that you can, just like a muscle, it's a workout that is needed. And I will give you 3 exercises that you can do. Very easy, very applicable, very, very easy to do, and you can do it for yourself. But I want you guys to think about something. Before you do it, it takes 90 days, at least. It takes 90 days. So I'm telling you right now, if you're not up to putting the work for 90 days, then just turn off this video, because you're not going to have any use of the information. But if 90 days, 3 months is something that you can put up with, and something that you can make yourself do, then all right, let's do it. So 3 things. First of all, I want you to see what you're actually saying to yourself. So what I want you to do is I want you to bring out a piece of paper like this. And I want you to do pen and paper, not on your laptop, because then it's easy to erase this and that. I want you to just leave your phone somewhere, shut down your computer, whatever. Just take a pen and paper, old-fashioned way, and write yourself a personal letter. And I want you to really do it. And I want you to, when you're done, just put it somewhere, wait until the day after and read it. Read it for yourself. See what you're actually saying. I want you to see what you're actually telling yourself when it comes to your career, when it comes to your life and so on. Is it successful or is it not? What is the projection of yourself? What do you see in the mirror? You see a successful person, or you see somebody that has failed completely, or something in between? Now, the second exercise I want you to do is I want you to, when you read that, I want you to bring out a new piece of paper, and I want you to write down why you should succeed. Why should you succeed? Because most people just throw out a wish, and they say, well, I want to succeed, I want to do this, I want to have a big car, I want to have a fat watch, and this and that and so on. But usually it ends there. Okay, so I want you to really write down, why should you succeed with your business or with your sales? Well, it's a business as well. Why should you succeed? All right, and then when you've done these two things, I want you to start to rethink what you're really saying to yourself, and then once in the morning and once in the evening, when you get up in the morning, after you brush your teeth, I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to repeat for yourself why you should succeed and why you are that person in the future, okay? And the same thing when you go to bed. When you do this for 90 days and it's crystal clear for you, your why is clear, your goals are clear, and you tell yourself every morning and every evening that you are that person, you will become that person. It's so interesting how the mind works and how you start to attract, because of course you can't sit down on your ass and think the result will happen for itself. Now, when you've done that, everything is about taking action. And I want you to understand something. You will fail, and you will fail miserably and many times, okay? But that's part of the journey. That's a part of the journey. So you need to accept the fact that failure is part of success. It's like yin yang. You can't you can't take away the other one or the other. You see, so you have to accept that failure is it's just part of it. And a mentor told me once, Michel, remember, poor is a state of mind. You can be broke. Broke is temporary, but poor is a state of mind. So when you're on your entrepreneurial journey, remember, every entrepreneur is always poor somewhere along the way. But I'm sorry, they are broke along the way, but they are not poor. The successful, the ones who succeed are not poor. And this is something that we really need to get this one to sink in as well, because this is something that breaks. Along this 87%, we have people thinking, well, I'm not rich yet, I'm not this, I'm not that, and so on and so on. I don't have a fat bank account. Well, it takes time. It's not like in YouTube sensations and overnight success and so on. It doesn't work that way. It takes years of hard work to get your business going. And that's what you have to sacrifice. That's what you signed up for. But it's the same for everybody. So it's not like, oh, it took me 5 years to get my business going. Well, that's strange. No, that's not the case. That's normal, all right? But the beauty of it is that I really believe that everybody can succeed with the business, but not everybody are willing to do what it takes, and they are not willing to work with themselves in order to reach their goals and so on. So make sure to work with your mindset. Make sure to create healthy routines. Make yourself successful long before, because you have to become what you want to be long before it will happen. Okay. So again, create the routines, follow these 3 steps that I just shared, and do it for 90 days. If you want to talk some more about mindset and so on, and how I applied 25 years of martial arts and still doing into my entrepreneurial journey, let me know. Give me an email. Contact me on LinkedIn or Facebook or so on, and we'll talk some more, because this is the key ingredient for you to be able to grow your business from wherever you are today. Hope this was useful, guys, and yeah, take care. I'll see you soon.